2 weeks left in the regular season. This should be easy, right? Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and we did it. We did it. We did it. 1,000 subscribers, which means we can now bust out this new candle. This was actually a gift from one of my wife's kindergartners to her, but it was laying out, so fair game. We will go ahead and light that right now as a celebration for 1,000 subscribers. Also, the scent is Glistening Frost Angels. She doesn't want it out anyway. Christmas is over, but she'll never know if it's up here. The best way I can describe this scent is like a sweet, sugary Play-Doh. But seriously, guys, thank you for the support. 1,000 subscribers came on Christmas Eve, the best present I got this Christmas. We got to keep pushing forward. 2024 is going to be a big year for the Green Beans Go channel. I'm glad you're here. Let's rank these teams. Week 16 was a little weird. We had 3 games Saturday, a bunch of games Sunday, and then 3 games Monday. Kind of spread out. I know a lot of people probably missed it because of holiday travels. So I am here to hopefully update you on some things that happened, put you in a better mindset as we get towards the playoffs. In the wins the draft category, I've gone ahead and added any team who is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, except the Bears. They have a 1% chance to make it. I don't think they will, so we'll go ahead and throw them there. The Falcons got a big win on Sunday against the Colts. However, their chances to make the playoffs right now are sitting at 10%. They have the Bears this week and then the Saints, the final week of the NFL season. I just think it's an uphill battle for them. I don't trust this team, although Taylor Heineke did look good, and I think he's earned himself a starting spot. Who's Desmond Ridder? Just missed the playoffs, though. A Baltimore beatdown of the San Francisco 49ers last night, making Brock Purdy look like Brock Dirty Laundry. That dude, 4 interceptions, and that's when I went to bed. I don't even know if he threw more after that. The Ravens are definitely in the Super Bowl conversation. The Bills had a scary one against the Chargers. They do have the Patriots and then the Dolphins to wrap up this season. They have an 87% chance to make the playoffs right now. I will go ahead and throw them in that wild card spot. I thought Miami was going to lose to Dallas. They did not. So we'll keep the Bills in the wild card spot. I think they will get one of those in the AFC. The Bengals got absolutely blitzed by the Steelers. They have the Chiefs and the Browns. And what's interesting is if the Browns win next week, I think they're in and they may rest their starters the final week of the season, which means that the Bengals could get a win that they need. I don't think it's going to be enough, and I do believe the Bengals will miss the playoffs this year. Kansas City has to get some momentum, so I think they're going to try really hard next week to beat the Bengals. So I think it's another loss for the Bengals. Just missed the playoffs for Jake Browning, who has looked good. The Browns have the Jets and the Bengals left on their schedule, and they have a 99% chance to make the playoffs. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and throw them in comfy playoffs as the first wild card team in. And I say wild card because the Ravens have already clinched the division. The Cowboys have clinched a playoff spot officially, even though they lost to Miami. A tough loss, a game that I think they really should have won, but nonetheless, comfy playoffs for the Cowboys. The Lions got a big win over the Vikings this weekend, although it was very close. It was a nail-biter, as they have been with the Lions the past few weeks. Comfy playoffs for this team, a really good season, but I'm not sure they're going to make it too far in the playoffs. The Packers have the Vikings and the Bears left on their schedule, and that is 2 games I really think they have a chance to win. I don't know if it's going to be enough. They're sitting at about a 24% chance to make the playoffs. I'm going to put them in the just miss category for now, but I'm open to changing that at the end of this video. Houston had a heck of a run, but that injury to CJ Stroud is going to cost them a loss to the Browns this week. They still have the Colts on their schedule in the final week of the season. I don't think it's going to be enough. Just missed for the Texans. The Colts could not afford to lose to the Falcons, and that's exactly what they did, but they do have the tiebreaker over the Texans, the Bengals, and the Steelers, all teams that they're tied with in terms of record in the AFC. The Colts, if they can win out, I do believe, get into the playoffs. And they have the Raiders and Texans both at home. I think it's possible. Trevor Lawrence is injured, shoulder injury, and it doesn't look good. However, they do have the Panthers and they do have the Titans, 2 teams who have nothing to play for, nothing to fight for. The Jaguars may get in the playoffs just because of an easy ending schedule. You know, I think they let Beathard go for these last 2 games and give Lawrence a chance to rest for the playoffs. It doesn't look good for the Jaguars in terms of how it has looked earlier in the season, but I do think they find a way to make it into the playoffs as a wild card or as an AFC South representative, but the Colts are on their heels. I don't know. Aiden O'Connell did not complete a pass for 3 quarters. 3 quarters, the last 3 quarters of the game. And the Raiders beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. I've been warning you guys all year that this is not the same Chiefs team. Do you believe me yet? However, easy division with the Bengals and Chargers still on their schedule, so yeah, they'll make the playoffs. The Rams are the team to watch because they play the Giants this week, which should be a win. And then they have the 49ers, who I think, after what I saw last night, definitely look beatable, but they also may be a team that rests their starters if they have that number 1 seed locked up. So I think the Rams are going to find a way to get into the wild card in the NFC. The only thing that could throw this off is if they lose one of those games and the Packers win out. I'm not sure if the Packers would be able to jump the Rams, so just something to watch out for as we end the season. The Raiders have an 11% chance to make the playoffs. They have the Broncos and the Colts, 2 teams that a week ago were fighting for a playoff spot. I don't know if Aiden O'Connell is ever going to be able to play that poorly and come out with a win. I think the Raiders are due for a letdown after their 60-point performance and then their win in Arrowhead yesterday. So I'm going to say that the Raiders just missed the playoffs, but a heck of a season, a heck of a turnaround this latter half of the year. Yeah, I know Miami won. I know I thought Dallas would win. I admit I was wrong. These guys are in the playoffs, but I think there are numerous teams who could beat them in the AFC. The Vikings have the Packers and Lions, and I just don't think it's looking good for this team. They lose TJ Hawkinson probably for the rest of the year. They've dealt with injuries all year, so I just think that they're done. They have a 30% chance to make it right now, but with the Bears and Lions on their schedule, I don't have faith, so just missed for the Vikings. The Saints have the Buccaneers and the Falcons still remaining, and I don't think anyone wants to play Tampa Bay right now because they look hot. However, I do think the Saints can beat the Falcons in the final week of the season, but I don't know if 1-1, the last 2 games, is going to be enough, so I think the Saints just missed, and I'll admit I was on the Saints all year. I was wrong. The Eagles are a comfy playoff team, but again, they showed signs of weakness yesterday against the Giants. Their secondary is just so bad, and when it gets time for the playoffs and they're going to face a team that has a high-powered offense, because most of these playoff teams do, it could be an early out for the Eagles. The Steelers have the Seahawks and the Ravens, and boy, do they look good after crushing the Bengals this week, and it's going to be, they have to win out. I think they have to win out. But so does Seattle. So a lot to play for in that Steelers-Seahawks game this weekend. It's going to be a good one, but I think the battle is too much. And as you can see, I already have 3 wildcard teams here for the AFC, so I believe we have to stick the Steelers and just missed. The Seahawks have the Steelers, and they have the Cardinals, and by golly, I just have this feeling they're going to split. They're going to win one and they're going to lose one. I just know in my Seahawks heart of hearts, my 12th man gut, I've watched this team for too many years to know what they're about to do. But 2024 is a year of optimism. I'm going to be optimistic. Let's put Seattle in the wild card. Please don't let me down. San Francisco is in the playoffs, but after last night, my goodness, did the Ravens just expose them? Did they just give the recipe to the rest of the NFL on how to beat this team? Yeah, they're moving out of Super Bowl conversation after what I saw last night. Tampa Bay has the Saints in Tampa this week, and then they face the Panthers in the last week. That should be 2 wins the way they are playing. So we'll go ahead and put them in comfy playoffs for now. Let's see how all of this shakes out. I may have done it on my first try. We have 14 teams in the playoffs, according to my list. We have 1 Super Bowl contender in the Ravens, and I'm not sure who the strongest team is right now in the NFC. Part of me really believes that it is the Cowboys, and so I'm going to move them up. I do think the Cowboys have a chance to run the tables in the NFC until that conference championship, where they will probably go to Santa Clara, where they did get beat pretty bad in week 2 or 3, but I think they turn it around. So right now, if I had to make a prediction, I know they just lost to Miami, but they lost in a fashion that gave me some confidence in this team on the road, as crazy as that sounds. I just think Tyreek Hill is so dangerous. So if a team can figure that out, I think they can stop Miami. But all that to say, those would be my 2 picks for the Super Bowl right now. As for comfy playoffs, it looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and slide the Eagles down because I do think Dallas wins the division. The Eagles get the wild card. So now we have 3 NFC teams in the wild card and 3 AFC teams in the wild card. And then in comfy playoffs, we have AFC, NFC, AFC, AFC, NFC, NFC. We're a perfect balance right now. So book it. That's what I like. That's what I think. And it'll change next week. But thank you guys for stopping by. As always, like, comment, go ahead and share what you think I screwed up on. And I know it might be these Packers down here who could find a way to squeeze themselves in. But let me know in the comments if you believe it is the Packers or whoever else it is. Thank you as always. We'll see you next time.